A man ties a dog with puppies to a tree and leaves them. But then something incredible happens. On a cold, deserted road, a man heartlessly tied a dog and her tiny puppies to a tree before walking away, leaving them to an uncertain fate. Just when it seemed all hope was lost, something incredible happened. The lines on Thomas's face deepened with each passing year, each argument with Linda carving them a little deeper. "Nellie brings in good money, Thomas. Why throw it away?" she would plead, her voice as sharp as the winter wind rattling their windows. Nellie, an aging Malamute with amber eyes that gleamed like distant fire, carried a lineage that whispered of wolves, a once lucrative investment now caught between loyalty and profit. Her pups had always fetched a premium, sought after by hunters and farmers for their endurance and sharp instincts. But Thomas, his heart unexpectedly drawn to the frail, half-blind puppy he had found shivering in the snow, remained resolute. He named it Jack, a quiet promise of a fresh start. "She's old, Linda," he murmured, his voice heavy with unspoken meaning. "Her time is done, and Jack deserves a chance," Thomas would insist, his gaze fixed on the clumsy pup as it tumbled over its own oversized paws. Linda would scoff, arms crossed, frustration etched into her face. "A chance? To do what?" "Eat us out of house and home." The air in their small cabin grew as thick and heavy as the winter ice, the distance between them widening with each unspoken word. Thomas felt the growing chasm between them, a quiet ache settling deep in his chest. Her pragmatism clashing with the inexplicable tenderness he felt for the small life he'd brought into their home. Finally, one day he could bear the weight no more. He led Nellie, her gray muzzle hanging heavy, to the edge of the forest, the familiar leash pulling her along. He secured her to a sturdy oak, the thick rope digging into the bark. The dog looked up at him, her amber eyes holding a question he couldn't answer. He turned, not meeting her gaze, his throat tight. "Forgive me, old girl," he muttered to the cold air and walked away, leaving her alone. The first drops of rain began to fall, cold and unforgiving, soaking into Nellie's thick fur. She whimpered, a low rumble deep in her chest, and pulled at the rope, her nails scratching at the bark. The rain turned into a downpour, the wind whipping through the trees, chilling her to the bone. Hours crawled by, and she continued to wait, the stubborn loyalty of a creature that had given her heart to a human. But finally, the cold seeped too deep. The abandonment cut too sharp. She knotted the rope with her worn teeth. Her body was trembling, the taste of hemp bitter on her tongue. When it finally snapped, she took one last look in the direction of the cabin and then turned to the beckoning darkness of the forest. Days turned into weeks. Nellie, driven by a primal instinct, she learned to hunt again, her worn frame finding strength and necessity. She stalked rabbits and hares, surviving on her own, but the loneliness was a constant ache. Then she found them, 3 tiny, whimpering bundles of fur huddled in a shallow den hidden under a tangle of roots. Wolf cubs, orphaned and helpless. A surge of instinct, more potent than any she'd ever known, coursed through her. She who had been abandoned became their protector. She nursed them. Her milk was long, dry, but the warmth of her body and the sound of her heart lulled them to sleep. She taught them to hunt, to track the wind, to feel the earth with their paws, her old instincts awakening with a renewed purpose. Life was unforgiving, a constant battle for survival. Winter arrived, brutal and unrelenting, pushing them all to their limits. But Nellie, driven by an unbreakable love for her adopted pups, refused to falter. Then, one fateful day, their territory was threatened. A rival pack emerged, large, formidable wolves with bared teeth and cold, predatory eyes circling like shadows on the snow. Nellie stood firm between the pack and her pups, her aging body trembling but her spirit unyielding. A deep, guttural snarl rumbled from her throat, the fire of survival burning in her amber eyes. She fought with everything she had, teeth bared, claws digging into the frozen earth, refusing to back down. But just as the wolves began to circle, the tide shifted. They hesitated, ears twitching, and then the alpha stepped forward, his piercing gaze locked onto Nellie, studying her with quiet intensity. He caught her scent, traces of domesticated blood, yet something more. A deep, unshakable loyalty that echoed his own primal instincts. As the pack hesitated, something shifted. To Nellie's surprise, they didn't challenge her. Instead, they accepted her, recognizing the formidable guardian she had become. She wasn't truly one of them, but they respected her resilience, her fierce and unwavering devotion. What an incredible story! If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please leave a comment below. See you in the next video.